In a vibrant futuristic city of African in Ghana, lived two best friends, Akos and Nanayaa. Akos trusted Nanayaa like a sister until her hand began to rot. The first time Akos and Nanayaa met, they were 9 years old. Akos had fallen into a puddle after chasing her ball too far across the street. Nanayaa, barefoot and holding a bag of mangoes, had walked up to her, offered her a hand and said, "Your leg is bleeding, but you're lucky it didn't land on your face. That's your best part." They both burst out laughing. From that day they were inseparable. They attended the same primary school, sat side by side through all their exams, and even shared the same bed more times than their own parents probably knew. People in the neighborhood called them the two stars, one fair, one dark, one calm, one loud, but both shining in their own way. They made promises under mango trees. They wrote each other letters and kept journals where they planned their future. Dream jobs, dream weddings, dream lives. No matter what, we rise together. Akos once wrote in one of their journals, and from years it felt true. They got admitted into the same university, studied in different departments, but still ate lunch together and whispered through long, boring lectures. They stayed up late helping each other with assignments and gossiping about boys who would never matter. Life was still soft, sweet, but the seed of difference had already been planted. In school, Akos stood out. She didn't try to, but people noticed her. She was graceful, unintentionally elegant, even in jeans and slippers. Heads turned. Lecturers smiled too long. Boys stuttered when they spoke to her. Nanayaa noticed. She never said a word about it, but something began to tighten in her chest. It wasn't hate. Not yet. Just a quiet, sour question that kept echoing in her mind. Why not me? Still, their friendship continued. After graduation, they moved back to the city and rented a small apartment together. 2 rooms, 1 kitchen, 1 shared wardrobe as usual. They started working small jobs while applying for better ones. They cooked together, laughed together, and planned together. But this time, Nanayaa was watching more than she was laughing. She noticed how men came to their compound and asked for Akos. She noticed how gifts came, handbags, perfumes, invitations. She noticed how Akos said no to good men that Nanayaa would have given anything for. "He's not my type," Akos would say, and Nanayaa would smile. But inside, her chest burned. One evening after Akos had gone out for dinner with yet another admirer, Nanayaa sat on the couch alone. The TV played a romantic film in the background, but her eyes weren't watching. She was looking at a picture of them taped on the wall, taken at a beach 2 years ago. Both smiling, both glowing. But now Akos glowed brighter. That was when a thought sharp and wicked whispered into her heart for the first time. If she wasn't here, maybe it would be your turn. Nanayaa shook her head. "God forbid," she muttered. But the thought didn't leave, it just went silent, waiting. It happened quickly, almost too quickly for Nanayaa to adjust. One week, Akos was just her usual self, bubbly, humble, unbothered. The next, she was going to dinner with a rich Rasta man who drove a white Lexus and wore perfume that smelled like money. His name is Derek, a calm, quiet businessman who was obsessed with Akos's gentleness. He bought her a new phone within 2 weeks of knowing her, brought groceries every weekend, and never came without flowers. Nanayaa pretended to like him. "He's nice, I guess," she said casually one night when Akos asked what she thought. "He's more than nice," Akos replied, blushing. And that blush, innocent and glowing, annoyed Nanayaa more than she wanted to admit. Akos was soft naturally. Her kind of soft life whispered to everything worked for her. She didn't force it. She didn't chase. Even at their workplace, the boss smiled at her more, gave her better clients, asked for her opinion like it mattered more. Meanwhile, Nanayaa had to fight for every piece of attention. She worked twice as hard and got half the recognition. Her inbox stayed dry. Her phone stayed silent. The gap widened. It wasn't just Derek. There were others. Men who reached out through friends. Men who sent gifts to their gate. A man who even mistakenly flirted with Nanayaa thinking she was Akos until he saw the real one and lost interest immediately. Nanayaa smiled through it all. She was a good actress. But when Akos went into her room at night, Nanaya's smile will disappeared. She would lie on the bed, stare at the ceiling, and feel something hot bubbling in her throat. At church, the pastor said, "Be happy for others. Your time will come." But what if their time never comes? What if someone else's season was your lifetime? That Sunday, Nanayaa stopped praying. She started watching closely. The breaking point came on a Thursday. Akos walked into their flat and announced, "Derek wants to meet my parents." Nanayaa, who was eating at the dining table, froze. "Oh wow. That's serious," she said. "I think he's the one." "Nanayaa, I'm scared but excited." Nanayaa smiled slowly. "I'm happy for you." And she even hugged her. But inside her chest, something had cracked open. That night, while Akos slept peacefully in the next room, Nanayaa sat outside on the balcony, staring into the darkness. She scrolled through her contacts, scrolled past her old classmates, past her church groups, past her coworkers. Then she stopped at a name she hadn't touched in years. Mommy Abina. She hesitated, then dropped a message. "Good evening, Mommy. Do you still help people with personal problems?" She waited. A few minutes later, the reply came from Mommy Abina. "Yes, if you're ready. But some paths don't have U-turns." Nanayaa stared at that message long and hard. Then she typed, "Mommy, I'm ready." The air in Mommy Abina's compound smelled like burnt wood and something rotten hiding beneath fresh herbs. It was far from the city. Nanaya's heart beat fast as she approached the small house, but she didn't turn back. No U-turns, the message had said, and she had made her choice. An old woman with tired eyes and skin like cracked leather opened the door. "So you came." Nanayaa nodded, her lips dry. "I want someone to stop shining so much than I do. That's all." Mommy Abina tilted her head. "You're not the first to feel like this. But are you sure you want help from this road? What you start may not be easy to stop." Nanayaa lowered her voice. "She takes everything, every good thing. And I've watched her since we were children. Always first, always favored. Even now, she's going to marry a man who should have been looking at me." The woman studied her for a long time, then disappeared inside. When she returned, she handed Nanayaa a small silver pin soaked in dark oil and wrapped in red cloth. "Put this inside anything she will touch with her skin. It will find the most beautiful part of her and turn it black. It won't kill her, but it will make the world turn away." Nanaya's hand trembled as she accepted it. "Will she know it's me?" The woman smiled without warmth. "Only if you tell her." Nanayaa left without saying another word. That night, Akos came home from her salon appointment, laughing and glowing. "I met a woman at the shop today. She told me I look like someone who will give birth to twins." Nanayaa forced a giggle. "That's sweet. You do look like joy itself." Akos dropped her purse on the bed. "Do you mind if I borrow one of your small bags for tomorrow? Derek is taking me to meet one of his cousins." Nanayaa turned slowly. "The brown one is in the top drawer." Akos didn't even sense it. She smiled, picked up the bag and walked away humming. Nanayaa sat still, her hands clenched. She had placed the pin wrapped in its oily cloth inside the side pocket, hidden beneath an old hairband. It was ready. The plan was in motion, but a tiny piece of her, buried deep under all the bitterness, whispered, "This is wrong." She swallowed hard and ignored it. The next morning, Akos got dressed in a soft pink gown and heels. Her makeup was subtle, her smile brighter than usual. "Thanks for the bag," she said. "I love how small and cute it is." Nanayaa nodded. "You're welcome." As Akos walked out the door, Nanayaa leaned on the wall and whispered, "Let's see how perfect you are tomorrow." Akos's day started like magic. Derek took her to a fancy restaurant at the beach, a place with gold menus and waiters who wore gloves. He held her hand across the table. He spoke about his dreams, his business, and how she fit perfectly into everything he was building. He called her home. Her heart was full. But as she reached into Nanaya's bag to grab her lip gloss, she felt it. Sharp stab. "Ah," she gasped, pulling her hand back. A small prick on her index finger. No blood. Just a faint sting, probably a pin or earring, she muttered and smiled it off. But inside the bag, beneath the hairband, something had touched her that didn't belong in this world. By the time she got home that night, her finger had gone red. By midnight, the swelling had spread to her hand. The next morning, Akos woke with a scream. Her hand had turned puffy, tight, heavy, and dark like bruised charcoal. Nanayaa rushed to her room in fake panic. "What happened?" "I don't know," Akos cried. "It's burning my hand. Look at it." They rushed to the hospital. The doctor examined it, confused. "There's no infection, no cuts, no sign of trauma, but it hurts." Akos winced. "I can't even move my fingers properly. Let's try a mild anti-inflammatory. It should reduce the swelling." Akos nodded, hopeful. Nanayaa sat beside her the whole time, holding her healthy hand with wide, concerned eyes. But inside her, a dark satisfaction began to grow. It was working. Akos's beauty had always started with her hands, graceful, long fingers, soft skin. People always complimented them. Now they looked like something from a horror movie. Back home, Akos couldn't sleep. She kept waking up to pain and panic. The swelling didn't reduce. If anything, it got worse. Her knuckles turned black. The skin started peeling in tiny shreds. She avoided mirrors. She avoided Derek's calls. He showed up unannounced 2 days later and saw her hand. He tried to be kind. "Let's find better doctors," he said. "It'll be fine." But she saw the discomfort in his eyes, and that hurt more than the pain. At home, Nanayaa brought her food, helped her with chores, sat with her. "I'm so sorry this is happening to you," she said one night. "But maybe it's just a spiritual attack." "Spiritual?" Akos's eyes widened. "Some people don't like seeing others happy," Nanayaa whispered. "Especially when they're close." Akos shivered. The words felt like a warning. Or was it a confession? She didn't reply. She just turned her face to the wall and whispered her first real prayer in weeks. "God, if this is not ordinary, help me see clearly." And that night something strange happened. Akos had a dream. She was in a dark room, reaching into a bag, Nanaya's bag, and when she pulled her hand out, it was covered in blood. Behind her, someone laughed, but the face was hidden. She woke up breathless, sweaty, confused, and for the first time since childhood, she was afraid of Nanayaa. Akos stayed indoors for the next 4 days. Her swollen hand had begun to peel in thick, flaky patches. The color was turning from angry red to a frightening shade of dark gray. It looked bruised, damaged, almost burnt, yet there had been no fire. Even the skin around her wrist had started to darken. It was as though something unseen was crawling up her arm. She couldn't hide it anymore. Not from herself. Not from Derek. He still came around, but he no longer reached for her hand. He sat farther away now. His voice was kind but not as warm. She could tell he was trying, but she could also tell he was pulling away, and it broke her. One afternoon, she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror while changing clothes. Her hair was scattered. Her eyes looked sunken, and her right arm unrecognizable. Her beauty, what she'd never even bragged about, was disappearing. "What is this?" she whispered. "What kind of sickness doesn't respond to medicine?" That evening, Nanayaa entered her room with freshly cooked banku with soup. "You need to eat. You've barely touched food." Akos stared at the tray. Something in her stomach turned. "Leave it there. I'll eat later." "Are you sure?" Nanayaa gave her a long, unreadable look, then walked out. The door closed. Akos waited in silence for 5 minutes. Then she got up, picked the food, walked to the kitchen sink, and poured all of it out. She didn't know why, but something deep in her spirit said, "Don't trust it." The next morning, she tried to book an appointment with a specialist in the city, but they were fully booked for 2 weeks. She called 3 private clinics. Same story. Her fear began to morph into quiet despair. Even her own mother, when she came visiting, looked at the hand and gasped, "Are you sure you didn't offend anyone?" "Mommy who?" Akos whispered, looking away. But now the question lived in her head. Could this be from someone close? She thought about the dream, the blooded hand, the bag, the laughter, and she remembered that moment reaching into Nanaya's bag. Her breath caught in her throat. That night, after Nanayaa had fallen asleep, Akos tiptoed to her room and searched the drawer for the bag she had used. She found it, the brown one. Shaking, she turned it inside out. Nothing. Then she felt a faint stickiness inside the lining of the side pocket. She used a knife to cut it open. Inside was a piece of cloth, red, damp, and foul-smelling. Stuck to it was a tiny pin. With a thin trace of dark oil, her knees gave way. She dropped to the floor, trembling, the bag in her lap, the cloth in her palm. God, it was real. This was no accident. And suddenly, all the hospital visits made sense. The failed treatments, the swelling that doctors couldn't explain. But the worst part, the person she had trusted most in the world had done this to her. And yet, she couldn't confront her. Not yet, because something inside her whispered, she might not be done. The next morning, Akos looked like a ghost in her own home. She hadn't slept. Her eyes were swollen, not just from pain, but from betrayal. From knowing that Nanayaa, her closest friend, her sister in all but blood, had done this to her and was still sleeping peacefully under the same roof. How do you share space with a person who wants you gone? She thought of confronting her. But what then? Nanayaa was clever, calculated. She would lie, deny, cry if needed, maybe even twist it. And Akos had no proof. Just a gut feeling, a dream, a cloth soaked in oil. No one would believe her. Not the police, not Derek, not her mother. She needed help. Real help. That afternoon, after a failed hospital visit where yet another doctor told her, "Just be patient. It's probably an allergy." Akos sat outside the hospital gate, her back resting against a low wall. She was tired. Her hand ached. Her heart was heavy. She wanted to scream. Then she noticed someone sitting beside her. An old woman in a faded yellow dress and a scarf that seemed too large for her small head. She looked like she came from a different world. Her eyes were sunken but sharp. She said nothing at first, then she spoke softly. "They won't find what they're not trained to see." Akos blinked. "Excuse me, doctors treat what they understand, but this..." She pointed at Akos's hand without even looking at it. "This came from another place, a place close to you." Akos's mouth opened, but no words came out. "How do you know that?" The woman reached into her cloth and pulled out a small torn piece of paper. She pressed it into Akos's hand. "Go here today before sunset. Don't tell anyone, especially not the one who shares your roof." Akos stared at the address. "Who are you?" The woman got up slowly. Someone who once trusted too deeply. She walked away without another word. Akos sat frozen for minutes, gripping the paper. The street name was unfamiliar. Somewhere far near the outskirts. It wasn't a hospital. It wasn't a name she recognized. She looked up to ask the woman something, but she was gone. Vanished. Back home. Nanayaa was in the kitchen chopping vegetables. She turned and smiled when Akos entered. "You're back early. Any good news?" Akos forced a smile. "Same old. Don't worry. Your healing will come soon. I even prayed for you last night." Akos nodded slowly. "Thanks, Nanayaa." Inside, her stomach churned. She went to her room, packed a scarf and purse, and slipped out through the back gate 20 minutes later. She didn't know what she was going to find at that address. But she knew one thing. If she stayed any longer under that roof, she might not survive. The sun was beginning to slide behind the clouds by the time Akos arrived at the address. The area was quiet, almost too quiet. No children playing, not even a dog barking, just dry sand, still trees, and an eerie calm. The house was a small, futuristic home, almost blending into the dust. A crooked wooden sign hung loosely from the gate. Had no name. Akos hesitated. For a brief moment, fear gripped her throat. What if this is a trap? But something told her to keep walking. She stepped inside. The room smelled of burning herbs and something metallic, like old blood or rusted iron. A man sat cross-legged in the center of the floor, surrounded by shallow bowls filled with dark water and dried leaves. His head was bald. His eyes were pale, almost white, but they followed her every move. "You're late," he said. Akos swallowed hard. "I don't know what to expect. No one ever does." He gestured for her to sit. He sat slowly. The man didn't flinch. He looked at the hand for a few seconds, then placed a single leaf on her palm. Shriveled instantly. "It's not sickness. Not something you can scan or treat." "Then what is it?" "It's a curse carried through something you touched." Akos's chest tightened. "A bag." He nodded. "And it came from someone who wanted your face forgotten. Your name erased." Tears stung her eyes. She didn't speak. The man took a bowl, dipped his fingers in it, and began rubbing a thick paste onto her hand. Cool, sticky, and bitter-smelling. He murmured softly in a language she didn't understand. Akos felt heat rise in her arm. Then cold, then nothing. Her eyes grew heavy and she slept. When she woke up, the room was dark. The man was gone. Her hand was clean. The swelling had gone completely. The color had returned. The skin was smooth, almost like it had never happened. Akos sat up slowly. Her mouth opens in disbelief. A woman entered quietly and handed her a bottle of warm water. He said, "You should leave before sunrise and to remember what you were told." "What do you mean?" "Your light is back, but the one who tried to kill it is still watching." Akos returned home just after 6 a.m. The compound was quiet. Nanayaa was still asleep. She tiptoed into her room, locked the door, and sat on the floor, hand in front of her, staring at it like it wasn't hers. She had been saved. But something inside her had changed. She no longer saw the world as soft. She no longer saw Nanayaa as a sister, and she no longer trusted smiles. From that day, Akos became silent but alert. She cooked her own food. She drank only what she poured herself. She prayed quietly at night and she watched Nanayaa very carefully. Nanayaa noticed it the very next day. Akos was different. She didn't limp anymore. Her hand, once puffy and bruised, was now back to its glowing, soft, almost perfect form. She cooked her own meals again, tied her headscarves neatly, even put on lip gloss and played soft music while cleaning the sitting room. She didn't say much, but her silence had changed. It wasn't the silence of a sick woman anymore. It was the silence of someone who had seen something and survived it. Nanayaa stood behind the kitchen door, watching her, eyes wide, breath shallow. Her fingers gripped the knife she had been using to slice onions. She wasn't supposed to be fine. She wasn't supposed to be glowing again. What did she do? Who helped her? That evening, Nanayaa tried to bring it up. "Akos, your hand, it's healed." Akos turned slowly, eyes unreadable. "Yes, just like that." After all the hospitals failed, Akos smiled faintly, then turned back to her plate. "It's a journey I don't want to talk about." Nanayaa forced a laugh. "God is good. Amazing," but inside her fire was boiling. The bag hadn't worked. The pain, the prayers, the night visits, it had all led to this moment. And she had failed again. Her shadow still lived behind Akos's shine. Days passed. Then a week. Akos remained cautious, never accepting food she didn't cook, never leaving drinks uncovered. She even started locking her room door when she slept. "Nanayaa knew she suspects me." But the worst part wasn't even that. The worst part was seeing Derek return. He came back one evening with flowers and held Akos's hand for the first time in weeks. They laughed. She smiled. She looked like joy itself. That night, Nanayaa sat on her bed in total darkness, the fan humming above her like a warning bell. Her mind played a loop of images: Akos's healed hand, Derek's gift bag, Akos's smooth laughter. She picked up her phone and opened a contact saved only with a black heart emoji. Had no name. "Are you available this weekend? I need it done, but this time I want it clean, permanent." The reply came in less than 5 minutes. "Where and when?" 2 days later, Akos received a message on WhatsApp. "Hey love. I've been thinking. You've been through a lot. Let me make it up to you. I want to surprise you with something. Just us. Please come behind the old community hall at 6 p.m. I'll be waiting. Akos read the message slowly. She didn't reply. Her heart didn't pound. She just stared at the message, then at her reflection in the mirror. This time she whispered, "I'm ready." She grabbed her bag and left alone. The old community hall stood like a forgotten ghost. Its walls faded, its windows cracked. Weeds had taken over the back area, growing wild like the place hadn't heard laughter in years. Akos arrived 5 minutes early. She stood near the back entrance, hands folded across her chest, phone in her pocket, heart steady. There was no sign of Nanayaa, only silence and shadows. Then at exactly 6 p.m., 2 men walked around the corner, one tall, one shorter with a limp. They slowed when they saw her, then stopped. The taller one squinted. "Wait." The second man stepped closer, eyes wide. You're Akos." "Yes," she said, voice calm. The 2 men exchanged glances. Then something shifted. The one with the limp scratched his head nervously. "You helped my wife at the hospital once. You paid her bills when I was stranded. Do you remember me?" Akos looked at him and nodded faintly. "Remember." He stepped back, rubbing his head. "God knows I can't do this." "Can't." "We didn't know it was you." The taller one added. "She didn't give us a name. Just said we should meet someone here and handle her quickly. Sharp job." Akos asked, though she already knew. The shorter man looked away. "Your friend, she said you betrayed her, that you always take what belongs to her, said this was just balancing the scale." Silence fell. The men looked uncomfortable, almost embarrassed. "Please be careful." The taller one said, "There's more behind this than you think." They turned, left, vanished down the alley, swallowed by the fading evening light. Akos didn't move. Not at first. She stood there for a full minute, the words replaying in her head. She said, "You always take what belongs to her." The jealousy had turned into something sharper, something Nanayaa couldn't even hide anymore. Akos's throat was dry. Her chest was heavy, but her steps were steady as she walked away from the building and toward the truth. She didn't cry. She didn't call anyone. She just walked straight home, straight into the lion's den. Akos opened the door to their shared flat. Just as the clock struck 7 p.m., she found Nanayaa on the sofa, pretending to scroll through her phone. A steaming plate of jollof rice and fried plantains sat on the table, a glass of wine beside it. She looked up, surprised. "Ah, you're back already." Akos closed the door behind her slowly. "Yes, I am." Nanayaa smiled tightly. "Did you like the surprise?" Akos stared at her long and hard. "You mean the 2 men you sent to handle me quickly?" Nanayaa froze. Her fingers went limp. The phone slipped slightly in her hand. "What are you talking about?" "The men who recognized me. The one whose wife I helped at the hospital. The one who said you sent them." Then just like that, the smile cracked and crumbled. Nanayaa stood up, her chest rising and falling like a drum. "Why do you always win?" He hissed. "Why does everything fall into your lap like you deserve it? Every man wants you. Every job favors you. Even your sickness couldn't stay. You healed and made it look like I was mad. So you tried to kill me." Nanayaa laughed bitterly. "Not kill, just remove, erase. Let people finally see me for once." Akos shook her head slowly. "We were supposed to be sisters. You outgrew me." The front door burst open. 2 police officers entered, followed by the 2 men from the building. Nanayaa spun around, stunned. What is this?" One officer stepped forward. "Nanayaa, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit grievous harm and attempted murder." She backed away, tears forming. No, I didn't mean to. She ruined my life." "You ruined your own," Akos whispered. They cuffed her. She didn't resist, just stared at Akos with a mix of rage, regret, and something like grief. "He would have loved me," Nanayaa said as they dragged her out. "Derek would have picked me if you weren't in the way." The door closed behind her. Silence returned. But this time it was safe. 1 year later, Akos stood at the balcony of her new home, married, glowing, pregnant with twins. Her husband Derek sat inside setting up the baby room, humming an old high life song. Peace lived in her now. Real peace. No more shadows beside her. No more watching her back. She had cut the route. She never visited Nanayaa in prison. But she heard things that Nanayaa had stopped eating. That she rarely spoke. That she stared at the walls like they were judging her. 3 years into her sentence, Akos got a call. She's gone. The voice said, found lying in her cell. Lifeless. Akos didn't cry, but she sat on the floor for a long time. Not from joy, not from relief, just sadness. For the memory of a girl who once lifted her out of a puddle and told her she was lucky her face didn't get ruined. You were supposed to be my sister, she whispered. Then she stood up and walked into her future. Moral of the story. Envy grows in silence until it kills everything, including the one who carries it. Nanayaa's jealousy didn't stop Akos's light. It only darkened her own soul until there was nothing left to save. Not every smiling face is safe. Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it sleeps under the same roof and eats from the same plate. Kindness plants invisible protection. The good Akos did for others returned to shield her in her darkest hour. What you give in love often returns when you least expect it. Pay attention to patterns, not words. Akos survived because she started watching with her eyes, not her heart. Trust must be tested, especially when things stop adding up. Trying to dim someone else's light will never make yours shine brighter. Nanayaa wanted Akos's blessings, but she didn't know Akos's battles. In the end, she lost herself chasing what was never meant for her. Forgiveness doesn't always mean friendship. Akos forgave, but she never let the snake return to her garden. Peace sometimes comes from walking away. Your destiny cannot be buried unless you bury it yourself. No matter how much evil was plotted against her, Akos rose. Kindly share the story out with your loved ones and give the story a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring the next part your way. Bye.